I can't tell you how much this day means to me. And when we were talking about adding a library to our museum here, and what would we call it? The Ruth Jackson Reading Room of the Captain Myles Keogh Memorial Library. When I was going through the records and figured out that Myles had established the first library and the first school here in Wallace County, I thought, man, that's really something. And it emphasizes his role, and it emphasizes the role of the fort in shaping Wallace County and this part of Kansas too. So I've obviously been a fan of Keogh's for a long time. One of the first things I did when I moved to Kansas 30 years ago was visit Comanche at the University of Kansas. And I've taken my kids and my grandkids and so many people to see Comanche, and of course visited the Little Bighorn. But as I've explained to people, Myles' life was so much more than his time at Fort Abraham Lincoln and at the Battle of the Little Bighorn. And he had a real life here, you know, from November of 1866 to August of 1867. This was life. This was a real life. And it was dangerous, it was boring, it was a time that gave, where great friendships were formed. As we were pointing out to the family, that first winter, Myles and 4 other officers, including Beecher and Dr. Turner back here, lived in a tent with no heat all winter. And every night they would entertain each other. And one of them would tell stories, and Dr. Turner was kind of quiet, who would listen. He was the audience. And they always described Keogh as a true-hearted Irishman. And what a beautiful thing. And then Keogh wrote about when another Irishman came to be at Fort Wallace, how good it was to have company from home and how close they were. And we've spoken of Keogh's dedication to his troops, to his job, to his adopted country. And he's just a remarkable man. And we're so proud here to be a part of his story. And I'm so proud to welcome this generation's Myles Keogh, who actually lives in the Orchard House where Keogh was born and has been home to the Keoghs since 1740. So yeah, before we were a country, that house was in the Keogh family. So Myles, I'm so thrilled to have you. Talk a little bit about the Orchard House and Lachlan Bridge and what that means to the Keogh family and what that's like, what the town is like, and your farm.
Our farm is about 160 acres. It was 200 acres, but it's about 160 acres, which doesn't sound like a lot by acreage here in this state, but we're at knock out a reasonably good living out of it. So we're not doing too bad, I suppose. We get a lot more rain in Ireland, I can tell you. A hell of a lot more rain.
I'm telling you, the cows do not have to move for a blade of grass in Ireland. I can tell you.
So I have nothing but admiration for the farming people here. I'd say it's well done to produce crops here and to make a living. Absolutely.
Can you hear Myles?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe a little bit closer. Okay. So you're just a few miles from the village of Lachlan Bridge.
We're just a few miles from the village, yeah. Captain Keogh, he would have went to school. He went to school in Lachlan Bridge till he was 14. And then there's a kind of a gap of a year or two. We think he went to a college in Carlow, but there's no actual records. But he certainly got more education somewhere because it allowed him to go to the papal army first. You know, he had to have a reasonable standard of education to become an officer in the papal army, which he was before he came to the States, you know.
When I was in Lachlan Bridge, you've got such an old history. I mean, Lachlan Bridge, the ruins of the castle there are how old?
They go back to about the 11th century, 10 something or something like that. Yeah, that originally that was sort of the edge of the civilized area of Ireland. That was kind of a toll bridge there. Originally, you know what I mean? They called it the Pale. It actually extended down that far at one time, back in the 1500s.
So I also read somewhere, because when Keogh came to Fort Wallace was just a jumble of unfinished buildings and tents, and you see the adjutant's office over here, what that looked like. It was just a board building with a canvas roof, and it's under Keogh that we really start taking shape as a fort with the help of Fred Beecher. But it's been said that Myles had a lot of familiarity with construction and with stone quarrying, and I saw, was there a quarry on the farm there at some point?
I'm not sure if there was, but most people, like all the outhouses on the farm were made from granite stone. So he certainly in the area, not necessarily on the farm, but within a very short distance, there would have been plenty of granite stone and limestone. So that you can see the buildings at home, most of them are granite stone.
He now when he was growing up, because he was not home when I visited, and his sister showed me around the farm, and she showed me, I guess you've got it planted, or had it planted in wheat then, the field where all the Keoghs learned to ride horses.
The front field, yeah.
Yeah, so the horses have been a big part of the Keogh family for a long time.
Yeah, we've always had horses, and my dad worked horses on the farm till about 1955, I think he told me. He had four work horses. So that time there was no tractors, you know what I mean? So he really, there was always horses there for most of the time anyway.
So, and you learned to ride too?
I'm a bit too heavy for riding race horses, but I did ride a small bit. But yeah, I have race horses. Yeah, I have a couple of horses. I had a couple of horses actually. I've only none at the moment, but only very recently have none.
Now that area is very famous for horses, right?
Some of the top trainers in Ireland are there. Especially the jumping horses. It's really the centre of it. Willie Mullins and people like that. There's maybe 10 very big trainers in the area, yeah.
And there are a lot of horse farms in the area.
Absolutely, yeah. Stud farms and horse farms, yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. So it's no mistake that Keogh was a cavalryman, and
Absolutely,
that when he came to Wallace and the stable had been built but had no roof on it because the army didn't ship them nails, and he was just irate about that. And he said, my horse is suffering. And so he was always so concerned with the health and the care of the horses.
Yeah, that sounds like him, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I want to talk about your dad. And your dad, they called him Myles?
Myles, yeah.
As somebody told me, maybe Eleanor, there's been a Myles in every generation.
Yeah, Myles or maybe a Blanchfield is another family name, yeah. Or Patrick is a big name as well in the family.
So, your dad, I read his obituary, and I wish I had printed it because it's one of the coolest obituaries I've ever read. And he mentions our Myles.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
He was very knowledgeable.
He was?
Yeah. Back in the 60s and 70s, we used to get an awful lot of people visiting the farm, mostly American tourists, and he was really well up on his Captain Keogh history, much more so than me, I'm afraid. Sorry.
So did he come to America? Did he visit?
He never visited, never. I personally was at the battlefield once before, about 20 years ago, but we had come down from Canada. We had been doing a tour in Canada, but we came down that way. But most of the group, nearly all the group, haven't been to the battlefield, so we're looking forward to that. But I have to say, this is the highlight, I have to say.
You tell them that when you get to the little big one.
We will tell them.
You tell them this was the highlight.
We will tell them, don't worry.
All right. So Keogh, like we were saying, was obviously a very smart officer. And one of the things that impressed me again about his establishing a school and a library here and the post band, he does that too. So being the Irishman, he loves music. And the song Gary Owen, that was the 7th Cavalry's theme song, marching song, is supposed to have come from Myles Keogh. And he was such a well-rounded fellow.
It appears, yeah.
Yeah, it appears so. So how about you, Myles? Are you that well-rounded?
I don't think so, and I can't sing, by the way. So you're going to sing it, are you?
Can you hum a tune?
I can't hum a tune, no. Before you ask.
So is the family musical?
No, not really, no.
Really?
No.
Well, that's a
We
disappointment.
have no musical person in our group, I'm afraid.
Really?
Yeah, sorry now.
It was a drinking song.
Yeah, we have to be drinking now then to sing it, haven't we?
Okay, so I want to talk about what you raise on your farm, because I think a lot of what they raise now is pretty familiar. But talk about the barley. Anybody here raise barley or ever raised barley?
Yeah.
And where did the barley go?
Beer.
She fed it.
Coors?
We fed it, ground it and fed it.
So
Yeah.
you raised it for feed?
Yeah.
So where does your barley go?
Some of it, the middle quality goes Guinness,
Uh-huh.
and then the top quality goes for whiskey, for distilling. So you're brewing and distilling.
Brewing and distilling.
Yeah. So that vary depending on the quality.
So you don't need the high quality for beer?
You do, but not as high as for whiskey.
Okay.
Not for Irish whiskey. Anyway.
For the really good stuff?
Yeah.
I, as you all know, grew up in the Blue Ridge Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains, and where our heritage is pretty much the Scots and the Irish and the Welsh, the whole Gaelic thing, and everybody made whiskey. And I remember I wrote an article for the local paper one time, and they were talking about why our ancestors came to America. And it was for the freedom to make whiskey. That was, seriously, that is why they came. The Whiskey Rebellion, all these things that happened. And we were talking yesterday about how the Catholics had, there was the control by England, and so the plight of the Catholics during English rule. How did the whiskey and beer making and all that, was that an issue?
I don't think it was. The big issue, like we had a famine back in the mid 1840s.
Right.
Massive famine, and because the population was totally dependent on one crop, on a potato crop, and that failed 3-4 years in a row, and Ireland went from a population of 8 million to about a population of 4 million.
Wow.
In 5 years.
Wow.
Maybe 2 million people died, maybe 1 million or nearly 2 million emigrated. An awful lot of them came here to America. A colossal amount. You used to call the ships the coffin ships. So when the ships used to arrive in Ellis Island or wherever, I don't know, that half the people on to be dead by the time before they got off. It's really tough. So I said it's not really till this century that drink was a big thing, I think.
So going back to the potato famine, I have read that relief supplies were sent and the English wouldn't allow them to be, is that true?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, it did happen, yeah. Now, certain parts, where Captain Keogh was a child during
Right.
the famine in 1848, he would have been going to school, I presume. Our area didn't seem to be hit too bad. It seemed to be more to the south of the country and to the west of the country, where the land is not quite as good. It's not able to produce good quality barley or good quality, so we're totally dependent on potatoes, So I'd say Captain Keogh, our farm seemed to have been okay. We seemed to have survived. But then we had a nice little bit of ground and maybe had some cattle and some stock and some sheep and seemed to manage okay.
So you raise cattle now,
Yeah, some cattle as well, yeah.
and what type of cattle do you have?
Usually they be out of dairy stock, usually. That's be Angus crosses or maybe Whitehead, sorry, we call them Whitehead, Hereford crosses or some of those Continental limousines or Charlies maybe crosses. Yeah.
But you're only beef production, right?
Beef, yeah,
Yeah.
no sheep. It's 20 years since we had sheep. We used to have a lot of sheep, but sheep are a young man's game. It's too much pulling and dragging on sheep. You want a good back.
When we were over there, my sister was driving, and we're just going down a country lane, and this farmer is moving his herd of sheep across the road, and we have to stop and wait. And she's taking pictures like crazy, has her camera out the car window, and he waved, and she said, "Oh, this is just wonderful." And he said, "Would you like me to move them back?" You know. The people were just wonderful. All right, when you see the agriculture here,
I'm amazed. It's a tough. I can see, like, okay, talking to a man yesterday, he told me he had 8,000 acres, right? But he needs every acre. Like, I mean, to make a good living, it must be tough going.
so what do you think? Like, if you were going to come to America now and make a living as a farmer,
I'm not sure if I'd want to be a farmer anymore. I don't think so.
you don't think so? So, what has impressed you the most on this trip?
We've been impressed by the welcome we've got, and it's amazing. We're blown away. We were only expecting a small little function, a small little welcome, and you've gone above and beyond.
Well, wonderful.
We all think the same. The whole group thinks the same. They're amazed, actually.
Well, that's the kind of welcome we got when we went over too.
Okay.
So I'm glad that you feel that way, because
Yeah.
we certainly did. And when we were doing the interview yesterday, Brenda and Peyton were recording an interview with. We have 3 relatives of our Myles here who are all first cousins, so the same relationship to our Myles, which would be Myles was your great granduncle.
Great granduncle.
Great granduncle. And so we have Margaret Kennedy and we have John Fannin. And John and his wife Mary actually came to hear me speak in Lachlan Bridge. And it was wonderful that they told you how awesome it was, and you all had to come over. Yeah, that's what made them come over. What are you going to take away from this trip when you go back home and share Myles' legacy?
Well, we're going to bring back a sense of pride, I'd say. We're extremely proud. This part of his life we knew very little about, so we're learning here. And we're learning a lot about that. Like, the Little Bighorn and his Civil War stuff is fairly well documented, but this section we knew nothing about, so we're actually learning a lot. And what we really hope we can do when we go back is instill some of this pride into our kids, our family, and keep the tradition passed on. That's what we really hope we're going to get out of it.
Well, I hope so too. I really do.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we were talking about, and it's difficult, I mean, this is not just with their family, it's with our families too, and in America, there's this very simplistic look at a soldier's life. And so Keogh was just part of killing Indians, and that was his role. And as we all know, in this neck of the woods, life was not that simple. A soldier's life was not that simple. And the native people, our Plains tribes are divided, and you have Plains tribes that fight with Custer and the Army. You have people who scouted for the Army from various tribes, and it's a complicated picture. And it is so unfair to judge those people
Absolutely.
with the choices that they had available
Yeah.
by what we see as right.
Yeah, look, even today we went down to the graveyard and see all the graves, see what people died from, and this grave, someone drowned, this one was shot by an Indian, this guy died of cholera. It was a tough life, wasn't it?
It was.
Oh my God, every day was a struggle, wasn't it?
Yes, yes, it was. And one of the, we've talked about too, how remote it was out here and how difficult that was. And Dr. Turner, who's sitting over there, Dr. Turner wrote to his brother back in New Jersey about buying a horse. And of course, a horse was a necessity in many ways, but it wasn't just as an animal that he could use for transportation. He wrote to his brother, there is so little to love in this country. And that just breaks my heart, but how they felt so far away from their families and so far away from the world they knew. You know, they're just being stuck out here in a world most of them are not familiar with. And that would have been a really tough,
I'm sure, yeah.
really tough thing.
Yeah, you mentioned when another Irish officer came, Henry Nolan was it, one of those, and how happy Keogh was when he arrived.
Yeah, can you imagine? Somebody that knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When he talks about home, he knows what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows what you're saying. So, you guys are going to go to the Little Bighorn, and what else are you doing?
We're doing a road trip. We're going back by Denver and going to do 2 or 3 of the national parks, and including Yellowstone and one in Arches, yeah, and maybe another one. I'm not sure.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And stopping in Salt Lake City for one night and maybe get a second wife or something like that. I don't know about that.
What? Nula, we're happy. You can stay with us, Nula. All right. So, would anybody else like to ask Mr. Keogh a question? Because I know that you all are just loaded with questions that you'd like to ask. So, go for it. Yes, Shirley.
How old were you when your family started to tell you about Captain Keogh, and how did they go about it?
How old was Myles when he started hearing about Keogh from his family, and what did they say?
I can't remember, just maybe in junior school, maybe 7 or 8 years of age that time. But when I was young, we used to get plenty of people visiting to see where he was born, regularly, especially in the summertime. It was a big thing. We were a bit touristy on there. It was on the
Right.
yeah, and surprisingly, Captain Keogh, he had people. One of his brothers, certainly one of his nephews, settled in Chicago, and there is some of them spread around. A couple of his nephews came during the war as well. So there is some people here that certainly related to Captain Keogh, yeah.
Did those families come back to visit?
Some of them, yeah. Not much, but some did, yeah.
Great question.
Not so much in recent years. No.
Yes, Shirley.
Could the Irish people stand up so we can know who they are?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. If you're Irish, stand up. There you go. So, John, starting with you, would you stand up and tell us your name?
I'm Danny Farmer Carl. We farm dairy cattle, rear all the calves, the heifers, the finished beef, the bullocks for yearlings. That's about the story of John Danny. I am the same relation to Captain Keogh as Myles. My mother was Genevieve Keogh. There was four people in our family, three girls and a boy, and I'm the boy. If you want to know something, you ask me questions because I don't know what to say to you.
So, John, do you farm also?
Yes.
I farm, yeah.
And what do you raise? I'm sorry, we couldn't hear what you were saying before.
Dairy, we produce milk and beef from the dairy herd.
So when we go to the grocery store and we get that Irish butter, the Dairy Gold, is that does that come from your cows?
Not all of it, but some of it.
Awesome! We love it, that's right.
Yeah, we're very proud of Dairy Gold. It's a huge success. It's one of the big successes of Ireland.
Yeah.
I can't tell you figures, but there's huge income. I'm from America. I think it's the biggest seller in America. Biggest butter seller.
It's a big seller.
It's a
Very
big
well
seller,
may
yeah,
be.
Yeah, but it's a very high value product and a very good product.
It is.
I keep buying it, for God's sake.
All right.
You want to know anything else?
Introduce Mary.
This is my wife Mary. We have 8 children, 6 boys and 2 girls.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we were.
16 grandchildren.
16 grandchildren. Well, you'll have to come back and bring them all with you.
We couldn't afford that, remember? We have a daughter who is a Navy captain in Ireland. She's captain of the Etna. Yeah, the Etna, sorry.
Wonderful.
We have John Banning Jr. He's married to an American. It is in Pennsylvania, and he has 2 children. So we have 2 American grandchildren.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Pass that to the next Irish person. Yeah.
Oh, Margaret.
Well, I'm Margaret Kennedy. And my mum was Loretta Keogh. She was the sister of Myles' dad and John's mum. So I don't farm. I'm a nurse. And we actually had a nurse in our family that was shot in the 1916 rising in Dublin. So they were kind of brave people, all of them. She was just on duty in it was called the Dublin South Union, and the rising started on the Sunday morning, the 1916 rising, and she was walking down the corridor with 2 patients, and the doors burst open, and the British soldiers came in and shooting everything inside. So she pushed the two patients to the side, and she was shot. And yes, so we were quite proud of her too, you know. So I'm a nurse as well, and I was called after her. So so that's it. So we're delighted to be here, and we're having a great time.
Thank you so much, Margaret.
I'm Liam Ford. This is my wife Mary. Our sister.
Stand up, Mary.
My sister Nuala is married to Myles. We've 4 children. When Myles first mentioned this trip, it sounded so good that we straight away said that we would like to come along, even though we weren't Keoghs, we could pretend to be for a few days. Now that we're here, we're absolutely delighted that we did take the opportunity to come. As Myles said, we're actually blown away by the reception we've got here, and I'd like to thank you for everything you've done. Thanks very much.
Liam, before you sit down, Liam is a carpenter. So tell us how impressed you were with our library.
Your library is fantastic. It's actually a work of art, and whoever done that was a true craftsman. You can see it's not just work, there was a lot of love put into that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That means so much that you noticed that. I know. Yeah, Bobby Kane. We're so pleased you noticed that.
I'm Margaret. I'm Nuala's sister. I have no exciting stories like them. We have no heroes in our house. Our grandparents came to Canada to make their new life, but unfortunately we were only here about 2 years, when my granddad, his job was a lumberjack, cutting down the trees to make room for the railroad, and he got his head cut off with the chains. So they went back home to Ireland. In America.
So you are a hero. Tell people what your job is, because I think you're amazing.
I look after children that's in the care of the state, who are unable to live with their parents for whatever reason.
You're a hero.
Yeah.
You are.
No,
And
that's
I'm also Margaret, so there's a lot of Margarets here. And this is Neil, my other brother.
Hello.
stand up, Neil.
He's also a carpenter.
All right, Neil, you're not shy.
I'm a little shy.
Now you're.
I need a drink or two. I like what Myles does with his crop.
Are you the quality control there?
I practice a lot.
Yeah. So, Neil, is this your first trip to America?
First time to America, yeah.
So, what do you think?
It's like the movies. It's just brilliant.
Which movies have you been watching?
Just meeting cowboys is just brilliant, yeah. The stagecoach was a big highlight. So it's just fabulous, yeah, and meeting everyone, and these are so nice. Everyone is really, really nice. And it was quite easy just to get into America. It was lovely. We heard it might have been a bit difficult with visas and stuff. We just strolled in. It's brilliant.
Well, we'll see if you can get out.
Somebody tell, maybe Newell or somebody tell about the last minute cancellation.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody tell.
So I'm Neil, Myles' wife, for 40 years this year. Is that So that's probably why he's looking for a new wife. Yeah. So we have 4 children. Unfortunately, we don't have one. She died. Well, yeah, so I'll start off telling you about our trip here. When we woke at, I think, 4 a.m. on Thursday morning, we had left about 10 miles from home when somebody looked at their phone and saw that our flights were cancelled to Chicago because of the weather. So there was huge upset. We stopped on the side of the road. Some people wanted to go home, some people wanted to continue on the trip. So we kind of decided, right, we'll go to the airport, because what the travel agent offered us was 2 to go to London, 1 to go to Philadelphia. The rest to go the next day. Yeah, the following day. Yeah, so we were devastated. So we proceeded to the airport and rocked up to the United Airlines. And unbelievably, they were absolutely amazing. So they accommodated us and got us all here on time.
We are so glad they did.
So, also, I just want to say I'm absolutely blown away by how really lovely everybody is. Like the stage coach out there, that was just, you know, and all the guys on that are just so amazing. Like, we've had such amazing chats, and I suppose it's really nice for us to see the children, like McKinley and those young kids, and they're so graceful and such lovely kids. So, and it's nice to see that generation coming along doing the same as their families. So stay doing that.
Nuala, before you sit down. Okay, so when you're courting Myles, did he tempt you with the orchard house then? Did he say, look, I've got this historic...
Absolutely not.
So how did he land you then? What was it he said?
We used to see each other on the school bus.
Oh, here, I want to hear it.
We used to see each other on the school bus, but didn't ask her out for a long time after. She was 21 before I asked her out.
Good grief! What took you so long?
Yeah. So we lived in London for a little while as well, so we came back to Orchard then.
So, how does it feel to live in this historic home? Give us the skinny.
only moved there, I think we were both in our 40s, because Myles' mum passed away, and we ended up caring for his dad who had a stroke. So it was a huge upheaval in our lives, because I gave up work to look after him, and Myles had to, get more intensified on the farm. So it was like a huge challenge for us. So the house was basically, there was no plumbing in the house, very, very poor plumbing, very poor electric, all the wires were on the outside of the walls. So it's been an expensive few years, and we've just tried to do a room at a time. We still have one area that we'd like to do, yeah. So it's been, it's a lot of work.
Oh, bless your heart. Seriously, for doing that, for taking care of it. That is a big deal. That's very hard. But it is beautiful. I got to walk around it, and it is beautiful. And you have invited me back to stay, right, in the house?
The original house was a timber framed house. And that time some of the land was rented. There was a landlord. And there's a letter at home where the Keogh at the time, he writes to the landlord saying that the house is infested with rats. So the only solution they could come up with was that actually burn the house down and rebuild it with stone. That was the only way to get rid of the rats. It's so bad. That's the true story.
So that's what happened?
Yeah, and then they built on the side, build the stone house. And that was in 1820.
So you just had to burn it down?
That was the only solution, yeah.
Wow, in 1820, good grief. Oh my goodness. Well, what about, so you were talking about what a big tourist attraction this used to be. Are you going, how about doing a tourist attraction again?
No, I don't think so. This is your tourist attraction. This is it.
So any other questions? I knew you'd have one, Stan. I was waiting.
What does the name Keogh mean? And the other question, other military, is this a military family that goes back to year one, or?
The original Keogh was in an army. He was an officer in the army of King James, who lost at the Battle of Boyne. So he actually lost a lot of land. He had much more land and was downgraded, which was what happened with officers at that time. They didn't kill him, they just downgraded him and gave him less land. But then we had the next guy, then we had a guy hung in 1798 for being part of a rebellion as well, the 1798 rebellion. And then we had Captain Keogh, and then we had another guy who fought Lyndon Keogh. Did you ever hear of Lyndon Keogh?
Yes.
Yeah, he fought in was it the Pan American Wars, or what did they call them? You know, the ones in Cuba in the 1900s, early 1900s? Spanish American War, yeah. He had a kind of a checkered history. He seemed to be he was a private or a corporal, and then he was promoted to a sergeant, and then he was demoted. I think he liked to drink, as far as I know.
Many did.
Well, then I think he was re-promoted again, maybe. I'm not sure, but anyway, he left the army and he was living and working in Philadelphia, or Pennsylvania? Philadelphia, and I think he stood on a rusty nail or something, died of lockjaw, or what do you call it? Tetanus, yeah. And then, that was around 1900, then we had Margaret Keogh, and then we had, my dad's brother was killed in the Second World War. He was killed on the Allied landings of Sicily. And he was unlucky because most of the beaches in Sicily were uncontested by the Germans, but he landed on the wrong beach anyway. He was killed.
Did he have a family? Was he?
No, he was young.
Single at the time?
He was, 22 or something. Just left home and just joined the army.
So, any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Is that a hint? So, all right, one more. Stone.
Do you have any other family in the 1916 Easter uprising, or the?
No, that's the only one at the
What about the War of Independence right after?
No, not really. No, that Margaret Keogh was the only lady there. Yeah. No, I couldn't say no.
Any other questions? Last call. Yeah, could all the Keoghs come forward, please? And the people pretending to be Keoghs, y'all come on up too.
What's it?
All right, y'all line up here.
So on behalf of the Fort Wallace Memorial Association, I'd like to present this year's 2026 gold coin. And this is a military tradition. And is it in the Irish military too about challenge coins? Or is that?
I don't know.
Okay, so in the American military, these are presented from officers or units to other soldiers. They're representative of the organization and the goodwill of the organization. And this year's coin is called From Fort Wallace to the Little Bighorn, and it features Myles Keogh on the front. And so that's our symbol for this year. And because of 150th, we do 150th observances right now. So I'd like to present you, and you do that with a handshake. And there are other traditions that go with a challenge coin, but we'd like to present each one of you with that.
The other piece of this coin, when there's a call, officer's call or a unit call, and you show up and you don't have your coin, you have to buy a round at the bar. That is true.
That is true. That is true. So thank you. Thank you, John.
very much.
Here we go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, wow.
Infection of the Fort Wallace Memorial Association. You have one? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And then one last presentation.
Turn around, Myles. Here we go. To commemorate, we have a coin here that represents the people who come and share their time
Well, thank you very much.
and their knowledge with us. And so this is from the Fort Wallace Memorial Association, coin number 33 of all the ones we've given out.
All right.
Number 33.
Thank you.
But you can't redeem it at the bar.
So this is our D.K. Clark lecture series, and we're just maybe you didn't we didn't really you weren't prepared to speak, but we just really appreciate it, and we have inducted you into our speakers series. Yes, and named for D.K. Clark, our dear friend.
We have a ledger, and each person who has been presented with the coin, with the number of the coin, is preserved here. So each person who has come and honored us with their presence and their knowledge is recorded. And so as this tradition goes forward, that we can keep up with the people who have joined us.
Thank you very much. Very helpful.
Thank you.
That's a different color. But this one cannot be bought. But the other coin that's a different color, still has Keogh on it, can be bought.
Yeah, I want a couple of them like this.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of scattered around. Will they